Hello, one and all. Welcome to the A to the K Wrestling Show. Another fun-filled week we've got coming up for you, haven't we?
Yes.
We're joined by Robot this week. But yeah, got a lot of news. So without further ado, coming up tonight on the Ringside Report. So Kevin Owens, they've got nothing for him.
Nothing for him at all. You know, Karrion Kross made this look easy. It's not. CM Punk may or may not be wrestling again because apparently the what they call dirt sheets just can't make their minds up. So there we are.
This is true. Bray Wyatt set to appear at Crown Jewel, potentially, assuming it goes ahead.
Yes, he is. WWE is opening the other forbidden door.
NXT released 5 people, one of which we know.
That one. AEW stars call out a podcaster.
Was it us?
Internet media guy? Is it technically podcasting? Twitch streamer, I suppose. I don't know.
Call out some.
Many different mediums.
Great news, Jim Ross is cancer free.
Tony Schiavone's son has signed with AEW as a producer.
AEW reportedly signed Bandido and Juice Robinson.
Mick Foley approached Tony Khan with a Thunder Rosa idea.
What's this one? WWE scouting talent at Defy Wrestling.
Defy. Steph De Lander returning to the wrestling world.
And could Crown Jewel be cancelled? Anthony, tell them when all this is coming up.
Hang on, I need a breath now. It's all coming up right fucking now.
See, that's because of the water throwing that.
I was trying to, like Karrion Kross made it look easy. I couldn't even find the lid.
Shocking.
There it is.
So this is an interesting one. So reportedly, WWE currently have no plans for Kevin Owens.
I've heard this. Like, is it apparently something to do with the fact that the original plans included Sammy? Is that
basically correct? Yeah. So I think the original plan was going to be the bloodline were going to turn on Sammy. Kevin Owens was going to back him up, but yeah, essentially
Sammy's just so damn lovable.
That guy. I think ultimately they kind of just struck gold with Sammy and how well he's been received. And
it's my favourite Sammy. I'll be honest.
It's my favourite Sammy too. But yeah, that just means unfortunately there's no room for Kevin Owens, which when you think about it is fucking inexcusable.
It's crazy to me though because that. Back and forth between him and Austin Theory was fantastic. Yeah,
I cannot understand the booking of this guy, and you know you could blame it on Vince, but he's meant to be Triple H's boy, and they still got nothing for him now. If you think about
Triple H's baby boy.
This guy was main eventing night 1 of WrestleMania with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then the next night he comes out of it, and he's got a feud with Ezekiel, and you're like, oh god! But then he turned that into something good. And then he kind of disappeared again a bit, and then he kind of came back briefly.
Shout out to Riddle's Halloween costume. That was quite funny.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Sorry, come on.
No idea where he got those from. So yeah, it's mental to me that you've got a guy like Kevin Owens who's just insanely talented as he is, both in the ring and in storyline capacity, and he's just not being used. Like
that's what I loved about his promo with Theory, because I'm there listening to everywhere he's saying like that is everything about that is true.
Yeah,
it's so fucking true.
Like I actually can't think of. In WWE at least, someone who has consistently been so enjoyable to watch in segments over the past couple of years. Even go back to like the whole List of Jericho stuff.
Alexa Bliss.
Well, you know, that's for different reasons maybe. So yeah, I just think it's a crying shame, and I hope they find something for him soon. Like he should be, even if it's like the Intercontinental title picture, or so, he should be at least on the show. He should be around.
Yeah, he could always come in the show if he's bored.
Yeah, Kev, come on, man. So yeah, interesting to say the least, but yeah, I hope they find something for him.
Me too. I want to keep this one brief, Carl, because I am now confident that this is 80% just nonsense. So when we first put this headline out there, it was that CM Punk may never wrestle again, and there was some suggestion. And I'm not even going to bother reading the like who exactly it came from, but there was some suggestion that he doesn't need to wrestle, doesn't need the money, And, you know, like, I want to call it Hollywood, but he's got plenty of opportunities there.
Fucking money.
Well, not as much as that guy.
Why did him and Tony get on so well?
I know, it's crazy. But then there was talks of, like, you know, everything he's doing on heels with Stephen and Mel and stuff, that there's plenty of options for him in the wrestling world, but not in the ring. And then you go, oh, right, okay, that makes a bit of sense. And then, like, literally 5 minutes later, like, CM Punk has got the wrestling bug, and he's definitely going to... And you're like, I don't even fucking know anymore.
It's been all over the place, this, though, hasn't it?
Here's the news, guys. CM Punk may or may not wrestle again in the future.
I feel like this should become a weekly thing, because I think, was it last week, we were somebody, you know, sources reported that Triple H would be open to bringing him back. Now it's like, you know, oh, he's never going to come back to wrestling again. And then another source before that you were reading to me before this was like, it turns out he's he might. Another source says probably. He might. So yeah. And
the thing is, right, like, it must be hard, like, trying to get those scoops. We don't have sources. We just mock yours. But no, like, we rely on their sources, and it seems like, I don't know if it's like deliberate, like, let's mess people up a little bit, because how does this work when one source is getting one set of information, the other source is getting the other? It makes you wonder, like, are they kind of just playing the media a little bit?
The problem is, especially in the wrestling media at the minute, is people don't believe anything, even when it is actually really true. You know, it's a weird thing.
I mean, that's a fair point. That is a fair point. I mean, look at the whole media scrum. It was a work for like a week, wasn't it? Well, exactly. Like, okay. Well, this may not be a work.
Even now, people are like, because Punk got injured and he knew he was injured, they made all this up so they could bring him back down the line as a massive heel to do FTR and Punk versus the Elite, and it's going to be the biggest story. And it's like,
but the storyline, in actuality, if it is a storyline, the storyline's come across as Tony Khan hasn't got a fucking clue. So it's not the story they were going for, but that's what come across. So if it is a work, they fucked that right up.
Yeah, it's a majority of WWE stands. That's the outcome in any storyline anyway.
Well,
Tony Khan's got fucking man.
Tony Khan.
Nobody has got.
Yeah, that's
more
right.
Fucking money.
He's got lots of fucking money.
That guy. So the next one, and we'll come on to this when towards the end. There's been some kind of controversies and, you know, real life imminent situations there which actually might prevent Crown Jewel from happening. Hopefully that's not going to be the case, but obviously safety comes first, and that absolutely should be paramount. But what was announced is Bray Wyatt is set to appear at Crown Jewel. Now this is very interesting based on the fact that a lot of people are now thinking it's going to be something quite big if he's going to be there in Crown Jewel. Like, maybe we're also going to see Uncle Howdy in the flesh. Maybe
I kind of want Goldberg to be a Crown Jewel, and they just kind of give a little bit of payback for that.
I would love that.
Not that it was Goldberg's fault, but just, you know, like a little bit of thingy to that storyline.
Yeah. People have also been speculating that it's going to be Bray and The Fiend both going to be there. They're going to do some kind of thing and to further it in that sense. But at the end of the day, it's an interesting one, this, because we were super hyped for all the what does it all mean?
Which is like normal hyped, but we were wearing capes.
Yeah, and masks. But yeah, we were very intrigued to see where it was going to go. And if we're honest with you, it's kind of... It's not been amazing. It's not been bad.
Yeah, I mean, this might be a bit of a hot take, but
see what you did there.
Hey, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm made up to have Bray back. I'm more than happy to. I'm not trying to shit on it now because I'm more than happy to see where everything goes. But I'm not digging Uncle Howdy. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, it's like, is there going to be a wide six? Is that actually really a thing? Is this like, well, when it was just the mask
big enough for
talking
both
to him,
of us.
It was like, oh, he's in a feud with himself, and then now you've introduced Uncle Howdy, and then. Like, to your point, you were like, it sounds like a fucking name of a Western. Maybe it is. Uncle Howdy. He's got a cowboy hat and everything. Like, who knows?
The next one is, it's Woody. No, wait. Wrong franchise. Sorry.
Well, you know, we did say Disney were going to buy WWE at some point, so maybe this is the first.
This is how they do it.
So Bray Wyatt is going to be there, assuming it goes ahead. But I think, is it just going to be him cutting a promo? Are we going to see Uncle Howdy? Or are we going to see... someone else from the supposed, maybe possible wide six?
Well, apparently they're going to have Uncle Brody as well, aren't they, or something like that?
Well, they've trademarked that as well.
So it might not be like he's got a series of shady uncles, like, which is, I don't know where they're going with this story, but
Uncle Howdy.
And there's Uncle Duty over there.
Clean it off. So yeah. Anyway.
We make each other laugh, that's the main thing. So, Carl, exciting news for those who don't already know. As part of the Great Muta's retirement tour, if you will, he's actually going to be wrestling Shinsuke Nakamura. which is exciting shit. This is what a lot of people are saying is this is the real Forbidden Door. I'm actually starting to get fucked off with the term Forbidden Door, right? But this is the real Forbidden Door being open. And you know what? It's awesome, right? And honestly, other than like it being made a big deal media-wise, like this isn't really the first time WWE have done stuff outside of WWE. That we had Triple H wrestling indie promotion in Ireland that one time and stuff like that. They've never been opposed to it. Like you're not going to get WWE and AEW working together because Tony Khan's got loads of fucking money, and I don't know why that relates, but that's what happens.
Well, he's got enough fucking money to trademark Forbidden Door as a phrase, so this can't be the Forbidden Door because only one of them exists.
Well, this is probably why they're using terms like the real Forbidden Door. It's like technicality, but. It's exciting news, and I suppose this was one of them things where it looked like it weren't going to happen under Vince McMahon, and this is not. It's one of the things. Oh, Vince would never have allowed this, but it looked like they've been asking for a while. Pro Wrestler Noah been trying to get this on the books for a while, and it's only since Triple H took over that the negotiations have been successful. So come January 2023, we're going to see Shinsuke and Great Muta.
You got to wonder whether this is going to be part of the whole NXT expansion in Japan. Maybe they've got a working relationship with Noah, and that's
you got to hope so, because it's better than coming in there and trying to like squash everyone around you, isn't it? You work with them. Makes absolute sense. Japan has got. I think they'd find a much harder time in Japan than they ever did in the UK. Like in the UK, they come in and they didn't ruin all the indies, but they managed to squash a few indies there. But I don't think it's going to be quite the same thing going into Japan with your big WWE sized boot and just ruining the competition. You know what I mean? I think like New Japan, Noah, and they're strong enough and they've got enough popularity that I don't think it's going to be that. So have a good working relationship with them makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, interesting. But yeah, I don't think it's like, oh my god, like it's kind of cool. But we'll see.
I want to know why they forbid so many doors. It's ridiculous now.
I know. Yeah. So the next one to talk about, and unfortunately I'm going to have to refer to the notes for this because I don't really know any of them, to be honest, but several NXT talents have been released, and I think probably the most noteworthy, who's the guy in the picture, is Bodie Hayward. So I think he's been doing some stuff as part of like the Chase University angle and
Uncle
stuff.
Bodie.
People read it wrong. It's not Uncle Brody. So yeah, unfortunately he has been released along with 4 others. So Sloane Jacobs, Eric Yan, Damaris Griffin, and Rufeng. So I'm not too sure.
I hope this comes across the right way, because I'm by no means giving these guys shit, right? In fact, I've not seen them, so I don't know. In terms of talent, I don't know where they're at, right? But do you not think ever since the pandemic and the like, what did they call it? It wasn't Black Friday, what the fuck they call it? Black Wednesday or whatever. The day they sacked everyone.
Yeah.
Ever since like that became like news to go, oh, they've released like 90 people, and they were like names like Bray Wyatt and stuff. It's just become a popular thing to have as a headline now to say WWE have released people. It's like they've been releasing people from like developmental for fucking years and no one batted an eyelid, and now it's news every time. There's no disrespect to these guys.
No,
you know, it's shit when someone gets released from somewhere, but it's baffling to me that this is always like headline stuff now.
Yeah,
and these are names I literally haven't heard of any of them.
It created,
again, all due respect,
a lot of speculation, didn't it, around like, oh, is this just the start of the cuts? And it's like, it's people's fucking livelihoods. You know what I mean? And people are like turning it into like a ooh, and obviously we don't want to come across disrespectful by going, well, who the fuck are these guys? But like we don't know who they are. But it's the news too. You know, there was 5 talents, unfortunately.
Well, I'm not saying like who the fuck are these guys? Like these guys are nobody. It's because purely we both can say we haven't been able to watch a lot of NXT or the developmental side of WWE lately.
Like that, haven't been able to.
Just haven't had the time. So you go, well, my exposure to them is less, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who do know who they are, so I'm not disrespecting them. I just think I think it's a fair statement to say this isn't like when they were releasing the likes of Bray Wyatt.
No.
But the headlines are coming across like, they're releasing talents, and it's like, yeah, but like on the same level they did previously. It's not like it was. It's not like dramatic releases. This is pretty much where they were with the releases anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think Harry Styles said it best. You know, it's not the same as it was, right?
It's not the same as it was.
Then he does this for some reason in the video. I don't really.
Yeah, he does a lot of stuff.
Well, yeah. So there you go.
So, Carl, there's an interesting one. I'm not going to linger on this one too long, but I find it's an interesting day for freedom of speech, I suppose, because I'm going to call him, what do they call him? Podcaster? Surprisingly, podcaster. Now, I only say surprisingly because I thought, again, he's more of a Twitch streamer, but JD from New York. who a lot of people will know. They'll probably know from Pro Wrestling TV. They'll know from Twitch. They'll know from various other platforms. Got a huge following and is known in the wrestling world, as a media personality, if you will. And when it was announced the match between Jade Cargill and Marina Shafir, I was trying not to pronounce it wrong, Shafir. He put out a tweet saying, basically, please, for the love of God, no. Right? And that caused a little bit of drama, unfortunately, for him. And I say, obviously, it sounds like there's been a bit of a history here. He's been known for some less than popular comments. Had a bit of back and forth with Alexa Bliss previously. But this caught fire with Jade Cargill coming at him first, saying damn, I heard you all the way from your mum's basement. Calm down, Mark, and stuff like that. But then it was like everyone sort of jumping on this, and I am not having a go at anyone here. He's entitled to have his opinion, whether you agree with it or not. They're entitled to clap back, if you will. So it's just a day for everyone gets to have an opinion. The interesting part for this for me, and I don't know where you're on this, because he actually made a comment that was interesting, because it's something that we've always said when we start moaning about certain wrestlers, and I've said it so many times, because it's truly how I feel, that I can hate a character, not the person. So I go, everything I'm complaining about right now, I'm not having a go at the person. I just can't stand the fucking character. Right? And we've said that I haven't actually been like that in a while, but I've said that many a time on this podcast. And that was one of the comments he made, and even that caught some response, because apparently Britt Baker has had some dealings with him in the past as well. And to be fair, the tweet, she sort of referenced back to a tweet he made about her that was not about the character. And to be fair, it wasn't, because the tweet he put out was it sounds like a power-hungry woman who is a favourite of the boss, who has freedom to say shit like this, where there is obvious problems, there isn't a fucking storyline. And you go, well, okay, the last bit, there isn't a fucking storyline, that's, sort of wrestling related. The rest of it is, like you said, that's kind of a personal jab, isn't it? Yeah. So
I don't think it's Britt Baker, the performer, who has a relationship with Tony. He's basically... No,
unless that's the storyline they're going with. But yeah, it's been an interesting one. As they say, there's no such thing as bad publicity. So
no, I think though as well.
An interesting thing on Twitter the last day.
Well, it's just Twitter. Then people feel so I don't know, empowered to let everybody know what they think and stuff. And it's
the thing is, I can only, and I'm not sort of taking sides, but I can only imagine it stemmed from previous, and it seems to be the way Rebel has come at it. It seems to be that there's been a bit of a history there. They've known the name, and he has been negative with them in the past, because the comment he made that everyone started reacting to, it's fairly innocuous to me, to be honest.
To be fair,
it's he doesn't like Marina Shafir as a wrestler. That's not the worst thing in the world to say.
Yeah, exactly, which is fine. But at the same time, he shouldn't then say he's attacking their personas, because he's basically said she can't wrestle and she is shit. That's not her character.
That's not the good. Yeah, it's not.
So it's come on.
That's a fair point. But yeah, for me, it was I'm not saying they overreacted, but it clearly it stemmed from a build up of negativity by the looks of it, especially again when Rebel was like this isn't the first time. It's been she's sort of got into it as there's been a history of this sort of thing. But yeah, it's just crazy. Typical Twitter. Typical Twitter.
Well, it's probably hard for us. I mean, obviously, for the most part, we're very much if you've not got anything nice to say, don't say nothing at all kind of people, aren't we? Unless I'm going to talk about how much I think Shawn Michaels is a prick and how much I think...
I think the thing for me, right, if Goldberg, not that he'd ever noticed me, right, but if Goldberg, for whatever, noticed us on the show, and he noticed that I've been moaning about him for a while now, right, he could very well go on Twitter and call me a cunt, right? I wouldn't defend my position there. I'd be like, that's fair. From his perspective, I am, because I've done nothing but fucking moan about him. Yeah. So it is what it is. Yeah. We're all guilty of going fucking it. You don't like Shawn Michaels, that's not mine, and that's not a character thing. You do not like Shawn Michaels, don't like it. And you've been vocal about that. And it's one of them. You go, well, it is what it is. You don't like everyone. Technically, you don't know him as a person, but you don't care. You don't fuck him, right? No. And if Shawn Michaels was to go on Twitter and say, well, I don't like Carl either, you're not going to go, well, that's not very fair. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
Yeah, one of those.
Internet, fucking crazy, isn't it?
It is.
But keep using it. Keep going on Pro Wrestling TV.
Yeah, use it for that. But yeah, I think it's mainly just, I don't know. I don't want to come at Twitter, like, don't come at me, Elon Musk. But it's just like, I don't know. It can be a very toxic place at times. And I get people want to share their opinions. And obviously they're completely entitled to do that. But then the opinions are always, well, not always, but often that are shared, can.
It seems to be a bit of a vacuum for negativity
like,
generally. Doesn't
why
it?
use it if you're just going to go on there and, feel annoyed or angry or, make somebody feel that way or whatever? It's just like, use it for good, man. Use it for good.
Use your power for good.
Speaking of good, some fucking fantastic news. So obviously, look at us there with the absolute legend that is Jim Ross. And basically, without beating around the bush, he is cancer-free, which is fucking phenomenal. As we know,
awesome
he posted a pretty gruesome picture a year or so ago of kind of the skin on his leg and stuff like that, and he had some tests and he found out that he did have cancer. But obviously, he's put out I'm not sure whether he spoke about it on his podcast, but there's a statement out there anyway that basically says he's starting some treatment this week. He's really tired of having to dress and undress the wound and be medicating and stuff like that. But life is good. I'm alive and I'm cancer free. So fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So
kicking cancer's
short and
ass.
sweet.
Fucking
But,
boy.
by God, he did it.
It was a slobber knocker.
It was a slobber knocker, but JR,
yeah,
fucking
awesome news, man. Awesome. Definitely. So Carl, Tony Schiavone, quite recently on the AEW Unrestricted podcast, let's check my notes there, has revealed that his son, Matt Schiavone, has is now employed by AEW as a producer. Now, for those of you who are thinking, is that nepotism? No, Matt is he's apparently worked with Fox News as a producer for some years, so he's got the credentials, if you will. But he's officially producing presumably regular shows for AEW.
I like that. I like this being kept in the family. He also, for this picture that we have here anyway, he looks a lot like Captain America. See the resemblance there? You see that?
I kind of get that. So he's been involved. Looking at the notes here, as recent as the tapings in Jacksonville.
Oh, nice.
So,
okay. So he's
probably
actively
seen some of his work. In all fairness, by this point.
Oh, good. But yeah, like obviously, best of luck to him. Hopefully, it's he does a good job and he's happy doing it.
And then we just got to go beyond the mat.
Hey. Which, if you haven't seen it, go and check out our interview with Barry Blaustein. He is a legend. So go and check
he is indeed.
So
speaking of legends,
so this is a
juice.
This is a news statement that came out from PW Insider. So I don't know if I don't think it's been confirmed. They haven't had they're all elite graphic as far as I'm aware. But essentially, we saw a couple of weeks ago both Bandido and Juice Robinson have matches with AEW. And essentially, the report is going on to say that they were kind of like tryout matches. And both of them are now apparently signed. Now, obviously, Bandido, I think a lot of people were hoping and expecting for that to happen because obviously he's a super talented guy on the indies that a lot of people want to see. And I think Juice Robinson, a lot of people are kind of like, should he be signed? Is he only signed because of Tony Storm and all this? And it's like, well, at the end of the day, he signed, so get behind the guy. And
the thing is, it's not like you're looking at a guy who really shouldn't be in the business, is he?
Oh, exactly.
Who gives a fuck why he got signed?
Yeah.
If he can rock up and prove it, then it's awesome.
Well, exactly. So, yeah, one of those. But we will see.
And we may be getting some big news tonight on Dynamite as well.
We may indeed.
What's the news? I don't know. That was the thing. They're like, oh, big news, possibly.
Back to that old track.
Yeah. I might just start throwing that shit out myself on our socials.
Makes an announcement.
Maybe big news on Dynamite tonight, but probably not. Question mark.
I got more fucking money than you.
Yeah.
That's the announcement.
He's probably just going to announce that Fulham beat Liverpool somehow.
Did
they? I feel like they did. I don't follow football, so you may have. Yeah, maybe.
Well, they drew 0-0 with Everton. That's all I care about.
Didn't Fulham beat them? And it was like, what the fuck happened
so. They lost to Nottingham Forest. Did they also lose to Fulham?
Welcome to the Anthony Doesn't Know Football podcast.
I can't remember. They literally lost it.
Don't make me Google this.
Yeah. They probably lost it. Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't watch them.
Carl, why have we got Mick Foley on the screen? Well, I'll tell you why. He started doing a podcast. Foley is pod.
That makes sense. Foley is God, Foley is pod.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I'd have called it Have a Nice Day. But whatever. So on his podcast recently, he's been talking about Thunder Rosa. He's obviously got an affinity for Thunder. You can see him in the picture there. He's
Matching flannel shirts.
Got breakfast with her, I think. Is that breakfast, lunch, maybe?
I think it's tacos.
It's tacos. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Because don't you do like a taco thing on YouTube? Yeah. Anyway, so she's obviously got a bit of an affinity for Thunder, as many of us do.
Mm-hmm.
And he mentioned about speaking to Tony Khan about it's not so much a gimmick but an idea for Thunder, and it was to get the license for Thunderstruck. And he sort of talked about like basically Tony's a really nice guy. He was like, no, it's a good idea, much appreciated in this. And correct me if I'm wrong, they did actually use that one time.
So I think the fans just took it upon themselves. They started chanting it, didn't they? They were going,
I feel like we used it. The thing for me with Thunderstruck, because I think they definitely should use it. It just makes sense, but it sounds a lot like Matt and Nick, doesn't it, when it starts?
A little bit.
If you hear that beginning bit, right, that didn't sound anything like it, but if you hear that beginning bit, right, people might, especially right now, people might think the Young Bucks are back before it actually kicks off. Do you know what I mean? But
it's one of them though. I think God, I forgot what the fuck's his name, the AW music guy. Mike, someone? Did he call Mike? I don't know. Damn it. That's going on.
Yeah, it'll come back to me. Hang on.
Yeah. Well, I think Thunder Rosa's theme song is absolute fire. Like most of the song he puts out. I
don't think it's something they should use as their entrance, to be honest. I think it's something that it's nice to have the license for and be able to play
or
it.
Something.
I don't think they should use it for a theme. I think that might be a bit overkill. Be like having a wild thing every time you walk out to the ring or something.
Fucking stop it. People love it. It's like, it's awful.
Again, use it for a promo package, not his fucking entrance.
Yeah. John Moxley is awesome, right? It's
without a doubt.
His character, it's funny because people are like obviously referencing it, like the stupid stuff he does with his shoulders and all that, and obviously now Wild thing and stuff like that. Like he could be fucking awesome. He could be someone that you like an Austin, where you're like this guy. But it's like, yeah, there are so many things from his character that he puts across, which are like, don't do that. That's one of them. But, so yeah, this one. So Gabe Sapolsky, I want to say. I didn't use my notes. Let's see whether I remembered that. Where is it? Gabe Sapolsky. Look at that. Fucking pro.
Gabe worked for WWE?
Yes, and he's now working for them again.
Oh, okay.
So basically he was one of the many cuts, and Triple H has hired him back, and he was recently spotted at a Defy Wrestling event. Now,
sneaky.
There's no confirmation that he was there scouting. How he could have just been there taking in some wrestling. He's a fan, but I think the accusations. But people have started assuming that he was there to scout some talent, basically. And I think WWE they still have the next in line program, of course, but they have made it clear that they're going to continue to look around the independents and the other promotions and try and find talent that they think would be a good fit. So it would make sense if he was there on in a work capacity. Or he could have just been there as a fan. But he's back and he's watching wrestling.
Nice.
So that's cool.
Exciting stuff. Scouting.
Yeah.
Got to get that scouting in.
Indeed.
So, Carl, this is potentially really exciting news or really upsetting news, depending on your perspective, right?
Okay.
Steph De Lander is making a return to pro wrestling.
Okay.
So she is going to be turning up at APAC Wrestling in Malaysia this December. Why might this be disappointing news for some? Because what she was doing before that was OnlyFans. Now, I'm not saying she's going to stop doing OnlyFans. I'm just saying she may concentrate on it a little less to maybe concentrate on wrestling. So obviously she was previously signed with WWE.
Yeah.
One of the releases,
Was there a lot of I don't know whether it was rumours, whether it was ever confirmed? There wasn't a lot of people saying the fact she was doing an OnlyFans was, by and large, one of the big reasons why they released her and stuff like that.
It's a little bit of a grey area that it's whether that was it or whether she started doing OnlyFans after getting released is a little bit like maybe one kind of overlapped into the other, I don't know. But ultimately released from the company and, started using OnlyFans, and OnlyFans is popular, and I'm sure she was as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's got the wrestling bug back. She's going to be back wrestling in Malaysia in December. So for those who are fans, Steph,
interesting. I wonder if we're going to start to see her. Is it just like a one-off thing to get it, or she actually got the bug again? Is she going to come back and, we'll see more of it?
We hopefully. If you want to see more of it, check out OnlyFans.
Haha. So this one's actually pretty serious. topic, to be fair. And at this point in time, I don't think we know for sure, obviously, whether it's going to go ahead because it's
it's
Wednesday.
crazy. This, yeah.
But basically, Crown Jewel is potentially at risk of being cancelled now. Saudi Arabia basically sent a warning out to the US of an imminent attack being planned from Iran. Now, from what we know, they're still planning to go ahead with the event, obviously this Saturday, but that doesn't sound amazing for the talent and people to go over there.
It's scary times, that really.
And obviously you've got like Logan Paul is going and stuff as well. It's like, are people going to be hesitant to go into that in case that does happen?
No, he's quite popular, Logan Paul. But sorry, I know it's serious.
Yeah, but it's very interesting because can WWE just go, nah, fuck it, we're going anyway because we paid for it.
Unfortunately, like I hate to be this guy, but even if they're like, yeah, let's go ahead, that's going to be a bit of a twitchy time for the wrestlers, isn't it? Because you don't know if there's going to be, like, whether they choose to go ahead or not. I assume they're going to make sure that everything's as safe as possible, but you don't know if there's going to be an attempt or anything like that.
No.
So you kind of just got to be worried the whole time you're there, which is a shit situation to be in.
It is.
As much as I want to see this event, I would be inclined to go, you know what, let's not take the risk right now.
Yeah, I would imagine that they've either got already or they're starting to draw up some kind of contingency plans in case it can't go ahead. So maybe we'll get it from a different location or something like that.
We've already flown halfway there. Let's just have it in Scunthorpe.
Plane ride from hell to Electric Boogaloo. So yeah, I honestly don't know, but obviously this isn't the first time where stuff like this has potentially happened. Like there was rumours, I don't know whether it was ever confirmed, that one of the other times they did a show out there, they were kept there a lot longer than they needed to be and they weren't allowed to leave.
Yeah, I remember that. I think, was that last year's? There was a lot of like difficulty getting back home and stuff.
Yeah, but it's a very tricky circumstances and stuff, isn't it? With everything over there and like with obviously their culture and the things that are going on. So yeah, at the moment we don't know whether this is going to go ahead on Saturday. But if it does, whether it'll be in Saudi, whether it'll be elsewhere. But yeah, the most important thing, hopefully no attack happens and everyone's safe and nothing like that happens. But yeah, I guess we'll know for sure in the kind of coming hours and days. But here's where Anthony Googles it. Or usually what happens with stuff is we have something prepared and then we say, right, and we'll see you next week. And as soon as we stop, we look at our phones and go, something happened. So
yeah. To be honest, I think we fucked the news up this week. I'm going to be honest with you, because the way like news on TV normally works is like you start with the low and then you end with the high. Yeah. So you end with like, oh look, a cat on a surfboard, and we've kind of ended low, like, right, see you later.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think
sorry about that.
I mean, because this is such a breaking news topic, it's we just kind of slotted it in at the end, but yeah, hopefully it will end happily ever after, and it will all go ahead, and all will be fine. Is the main thing. So yeah, Anthony Googles things right now, and nothing's coming up that we can see to say that it's not going ahead.
No, but as you rightly said, emergency contingencies are in place.
There you go. Look at this. Look at this.
It's like you work
got
there.
it covered. You've got it covered. So a lot of news again. 13 pieces of news for you this week. Some very interesting topics on there as well. But yeah, do we want to plug anything before we go? Obviously, if you're not watching us on Pro Wrestling TV, why the hell not? Go and check us out on over there, because as well as us, they've recently got Major League Wrestling, who are joining today. By the time you see this, it's actually the 3rd of November.
Yes. I mean, there's still, like, they put the one shot off there. They've got a few different is it Azteca or something like that line? They've got a few different MLW things on there to get a flavour, but their weekly show will be from
it starts today for you guys.
But yeah, check out us on Pro Wrestling TV. Check out MLW on Pro Wrestling TV. Check out every other guy on Pro Wrestling TV. Yeah. Because it's just an awesome app.
It certainly is.
Wrestling content 24/7. Are you a wrestling fan and you don't have this app? Are you really a wrestling fan?
Free. Like, how cool is that? And also, we've got a new T-shirt out, so I probably should have put a picture. Probably should have put a picture in. But it's basically rock, paper.
I'm still shit at this because I'm looking at myself on the camera, by the way.
So yeah, go and check it out. It's obviously our tribute to some of the fun things we enjoy at the moment in wrestling.
Yes.
And
speaking of things we enjoy, don't forget to check out Top Rope Brewing. They are our lovely partners in the beer world. We love beer, we love wrestling, and they are a perfect combination of the two.
they're celebrating the birthday.
They're celebrating their birthday. We had an interview last week with Neil from Top Rope Brewing that you should definitely check out to get an idea of how the business come about, their interest in wrestling, and what their events are planned in the future. Similarly, their website will hopefully be back up and running soon for sales, and you'll be able to buy not only their birthday beers but everything else they've got on sale as well. Fantastic beers. I've enjoyed every single one of them that we've had, so you should definitely get yourself 10% off.
You got brand new flavors as well if you can get out to, if you're local to us. I know they're doing a couple of tap room kind of takeovers as well, but you've got like a pumpkin ice cream flavor, you've got a red velvet birthday cake one.
I do like the sound of that one.
Loads of awesome stuff out there. So,
but if you want to check out I think the store is still under maintenance at the moment, but if you want to check out the events they've got on topropebrewing.com, eventually when the store is back open, that is where you go to buy the beers as well. When the store is back open, put in A to the K10 and you will get 10% off. Like Ty Dillinger there, Carl. Love it.
He's brought that back, hasn't he?
Has he?
Yeah, that's what he is now. Gone is the glove, back is the hands.
What happened to the chair, man?
Well, yeah, very good point. But yeah, until next time, folks, we will say goodbye.